Alright everyone, so you should have a drawing like this that you turned in a couple of weeks ago for a grade. And it's just a combination of the heart and the lungs. And basically you're going to use this for your test over the heart and the lungs. We're going to complete our test very similar to the digestive system, where you will just basically talk me through how we breathe, going to our lungs, and using blood through our heart, and how that all kind of runs together. So basically the main things you need to know for this test. Let's just start with the respiratory system. So what you need to know is how we get air into our lungs, which the main part is it comes in through the mouth and nose. So make sure that you're familiar with all these terms. We've got mouth and nose. Obviously that's up here. That's where the air comes in. It then goes through our mouth and nose, down the back of our throat, through this piece right here, which is called the trachea. That is the trachea. From the trachea, as it goes down towards our lungs, it splits into two branches. So you can see one branch goes to the right lung, and one branch goes to the left lung. These branches that lead to the lungs are called the bronchus. So we have the right bronchus, B-R-O-N-C-H-U-S. Obviously this one would be the left bronchus. And those are just the tubes that lead to the lungs. Obviously these are lungs. You got your right lung, which notice has 1, 2, 3 lobes. It's slightly larger than the left lung, which is slightly smaller, 1, 2 lobes, because it has to compensate for the heart. These smaller tubes are called the bronchioli. B-R-O-N-C-H-I-O-L-E. The bronchioli are just like little tiny branches that branch out within inside of the lungs. As they branch down further and further, they eventually reach these little grape-looking things, which are called the alveoli. The alveoli is where the CO2 and the oxygen actually interchange with each other. So here you have your O2, oxygen, and CO2, gas exchange. So we get rid of the bad CO2, and we're bringing in the good O2, which is oxygenating the blood, which is pumped to our body. Which leads to the next part. Let's get to the part on the heart and everything you need to know. Basically on the heart, it brings blood into the heart from the body. There's two main veins that bring in the blood to the heart. You have one on the bottom, and you have one on the top. They are both called the vena cava. The one on top is called the superior vena cava, and the one on the bottom is called the inferior vena cava. So inferior, vena cava. The one on the top is called the superior vena cava, S-U-P-E-R-I-O-R, superior. And then vena cava. As blood enters the heart, it enters into this top chamber right here. There are 4 chambers into the heart. The top chamber is called the right atrium. Blood goes into the right atrium and flows down into the lower part, which is called the right ventricle. After the blood is pumped into the right ventricle from the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood is then sent to the heart to get oxygenated. It actually leaves through an artery where it goes into the lungs, it's oxygenated, and it's sent back to the heart through some veins, but it is now oxygenated blood. This blood goes into the top chamber on the left side, called the left atrium. It is then pushed down into this bottom chamber, called the left ventricle. After the blood enters the left ventricle, it is pumped out to the body through the aorta. The aorta then sends the blood throughout the whole body, where oxygenated blood is used by our body and our muscles and all the other main organs inside of our body. So that is what you need to know for the test. You will just basically tell me how air comes in through the mouth, heads to the lungs, how blood is pumped to the heart, to the lungs, back into the heart, and then through the body.
Yeah!